Hey there and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing a video on something that I just really want to share with you guys because I think it might be helpful if fragrances ever come back round. But I, as you guys know, love fragrances and have many. So throughout my collection, there have definitely been discontinued fragrances that I've fallen in love with. And I've either fallen in love with them when they were already available and then they got discontinued, or like I bought them when they were discontinued and had to deal with a thing that I'm sure a lot of you have as well, where you struggle to wear it or to find it again because it's so beautiful. So I picked 10 from my collection. This by no means is like an exhaustive list. If you guys enjoy this, I'd love to do another part or two. I could definitely do one on my empties as well, because there's a lot of discontinued gems in my empties collection. So yeah, we're gonna get into it. I have 10 to share with you, and then at the end I do have one bonus one to share that was discontinued for about 10 years and then just recently came back early, like near the end of last year in 2020. So you never know, fragrances can come back. So I'm gonna start with the first one, and I'll let you know if I do have backups. And this one will probably not be a surprise for so many of you who've been watching my channel from the beginning. So if you're a new viewer, if you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to subscribe so I can keep making these videos for you guys. But I adore Gucci too. And this was a unicorn fragrance that I looked for, I mean, on and off, for about 10 years. And I unfortunately was one of those people that fell in love with it after it got discontinued. And when it was available, it wasn't available in our Sephora's in Canada. So even when it was available, it was very hard to find, at least around me and when I checked. But this is a fragrance that I fell in love with years and years ago, like literally over 10 years ago, when I was watching YouTube, and it was really because of YouTube that I even fell in love with this, and specifically because of Tiffany, Makeup by Tiffany D. I used to watch her religiously. I still watch her from time to time, and this was her favorite fragrance. It was what she wore on her wedding day. Like, she was obsessed with this. Her husband had Gucci too, like for men, which I also bought. But she just really liked this. And her and I have very similar fragrance taste. We're very similar. Even nowadays when she makes fragrance videos, I'm always like, we just get each other. I don't know her, but I really agree with her taste. And this was no exception. And then later on, I love Kathleen Lights, and she also really loved this fragrance. So it felt like the people who had it were enamored with it. And oh my God, I was so happy. So I got it, and I have a backup as well of a smaller, because this is the 75 ml. I have a 50 ml, I think, or maybe a 75. I think I have a 50 ml as a backup as well. And for a while when I first got it, I was really scared about wearing it too much. But I've stopped being that way because this is a stunner. I adore this fragrance. I really do. I definitely put a dent in it. It's hard to see because it's such a thick, heavy bottle. The base is heavy. The lid is even heavier. And I love this. This is a scent that Gucci 100% has to come back with, but exactly how it is. Like, I don't want them to change it. If anything, I'd like them to make it stronger in terms of like lasting power, because it doesn't last very long on me, but I just love it. Like, it's slightly woody and like blackcurranty, and it's hard to place because I feel like it's a difficult one to describe of why it's so lovely, but I adore it. And what I will say, because I do have a sample of Scent of Peace for her, and people do claim that they're similar, I would say, and I've said this before, that it's similar in that they're the same type of fragrance, but they're not dupes of one another. And I had bought a bottle of Scent of Peace for her, and because it's discontinued, like right when I smelled it, it was off and I returned it. So my decant still is lovely of that one, but I've been like turned off by buying a bottle of scent of peace for her online ever since because of that mishap. And I do have these Gucci too. So I would say if it ever comes back, and I know there's always in discussion boards and groups, like when they talk about which fragrances need to come back, Gucci 2 Parfum is always on those lists, and I think it 100% should definitely come back because it's a stunner. Then I need to be quicker with the rest of the 9. There's one that I had to mention for all of you, but obviously for me as well, and that is Alien Essence de Parfum. This is beautiful. I mean, I have a video coming up very, very soon where I do a comparison of this, the Liqueur de Parfum, and the Eau de Toilette, the original Eau de Toilette, because those are the 3 aliens that I have. And I know you guys have been curious, but hint, hint, nudge, nudge, this is my favorite. This is my favorite alien I've tried so far. I do like the line, but I've been apprehensive about getting every single one because there's so many, and I didn't want to feel like they all kind of blended into one, and then I wasn't really enjoying the scent as much because I had way too many. So I only pick up the ones that I really, really think I'm going to enjoy, and I feel like 3 is a good maximum for me. And this is just beautiful. This is everything Alien was and more, and better, and gourmand, and creamier, and stronger. And I really think it's a shame that they discontinued this one because I think it's the best from the range. And I really do think that if it came back, people would continue to buy it over the years, and it wouldn't just be the kind of thing where it comes back and it's exciting because it's back and then no one really gets it. It's a fragrance that stands the test of time, I think. Okay, then an unexpected one, I'm sure, and I recently hauled it, but I swear I've been wearing it all the time, and this is Mojito by DKNY's Be Delicious Pool Party range. So I hauled all 3 in the range. This is by far my favorite, which I thought it was going to be my least favorite, but it's just so refreshing to wear. And I know it's definitely kind of out of season right now, but this is the best fragrance, easily the best fragrance that has come out in the like Be Delicious range by DKNY that I've tried, because they've all made my stomach turn, the appley ones. And this really doesn't have those notes. It's just in those bottles. I love the Pool Party range because I love all 3 colors, but this one, it's just refreshing and fruity and summery, and I love even the dry down of it. It doesn't last super long. It's just Eau de Toilette, but it doesn't fade away immediately either. There's like a nice middle ground, and it makes me crave summertime. I really, really like it. And every time I feel like I don't know what I'm gonna wear lately, I reach for that one. So out of a collection of like a million fragrances, you gotta shine the light on something that you're reaching for more than once in a week. All right, so then the next one's super expensive, and I'm so glad that I got my hands on it before it became even harder to find. But this is Parfait de Rose by Maison Lancome. This whole range just made me fall in love, but this is easily, it always bounces between first and second place for me from the fragrances I have on this range. And I do need to do a video on the ones I have. I was waiting to see if I could get any more, and unfortunately I haven't yet. So I will do one, but I just love these bottles. Like, I love the second iteration of the bottles with this side of the etching and the gold in front. I don't like how they're making them now, and I prefer this version of bottle than to the original. I do have one in the original though. I just love this fragrance. It's so like powdery and rosy and sweet and delicious, and my goodness, is it beast mode. So right now, with the way I'm feeling, this is a #1 place for all my Maison Lancome fragrances, but sometimes it drops down to #2 because of Rose's Berberanza. But oh my God, you guys, I love this. If you like powdery rose fragrances, that is a definite must. Then we move on to two celebrity fragrances, and the first one I'm going to talk about, again, you guys know, it's Miami Glow. I have had like 4 of these at least throughout the years. I have this one that I'm working on now, and I do have a backup. For a very long time, these were like between $10 to $20 in Canada at drugstores. Now they're more expensive when you find them online, and they haven't been in drugstores for a very long time. But this is top 3, if not my favorite celebrity fragrance. I just love it. It reminds me of Cabo because that's where I first took it on a trip. It's so delicious. It's like one of the best fruity fragrances of all time. I don't know why she discontinued it. JLo needs to 100% bring that back. Everyone I know who's tried it likes it. At the very least likes it, if not loves it. So that one definitely needs to come back. The other celebrity fragrance, which has made me an obsessive, is actually Truth or Dare Naked by Madonna. I got a backup of this, which I've stopped doing, you guys. Like, I don't have backups of any of the other ones except for Gucci too. But this, I was terrified. I'm like, this is discontinued. I'm wearing so much of it. You guys, look at that dent. I got this not that long time ago, and I can't stop wearing it. Like, I love, it's grapey and slightly like cocoa powdery, and I don't know why I get that, but it's floral. I love a grapey fragrance. Anything that slightly even goes grapey, like, I become an obsessive, and I love this. I really, really do. Every time I think about this fragrance, it makes me sad that I never picked up the original Truth or Dare when it was like between $10 to $20 in Canada for all those years, because I don't know, I was getting picky and I thought it wasn't going to be nice, even though that one's more tuberosy and everything. But this, wow, I love this, and I wear it all the time, as I say. Okay, then 2 Zara fragrances. I actually really like Zara fragrances. They're definitely gems that you can find throughout the years. You just have to be careful to kind of keep up with it, because they launch them quickly and then they end up taking them away rather quickly as well, because they have so many fragrances on rotation. So there's many fragrances that were gems from Zara that I never picked up, and then they kind of just disappear forever. But these 2, I'm so glad I picked up. And the first one is a classic for me, and I've been talking about it since I think my first video on here. Sense of Glam. I told so many of you guys about it last year, and a lot of you actually picked it up when it was still available. I have 4 backups of this because I knew this was going to disappear and I was going to regret it. It is a stunning lipsticky fragrance. One of my favorites, if not my favorite, at least my favorite that I own. I really like the Frederic Malle one, but Lipstick Rose, but I don't own it. But it lasts forever. It's beast mode. It's got like a hint of Parfait de Rose to it, but this is way more lipsticky. And it's just got kind of lychee, musk, and rose in it. And I love it. I absolutely love it. And it really does last all day. Like, you can definitely overspray that even as a lipstick fragrance lover. Then the other one, and I more recently picked this one up. Actually, I picked up the whole range, but this one has really stood out to me, as well as many of you, and that's a Sweet Pastry in Paris. You guys, I love this. It smells like Fruit Loops and lemon tarts, and it's very gourmand, which I feel like I'm more than likely always gonna love a powdery fragrance or a grapey fragrance, kind of, because those are my like go-tos. But when I super like a gourmand, or I super like an aquatic or a woody, or yeah, like, I don't know, like, or a patchouli fragrance, like if I'm going out of my safe comfort zone, which I do all the time, but it really stands out even more to me. So this is super gourmand and I love it. I mean, it literally smells like lemon tarts and Fruit Loops. Like, it's authentic to that scent, and I love it. I can't stop wearing it. Again, it has pretty good lasting power. The Sense of Glam is definitely stronger than this in terms of lasting power, because that's beast mode. But I love this. I wear it all the time and it just makes me happy. Like, I really, really like it. And I definitely would recommend both of these, but it's like near impossible to find them now. So if you see them kind of being resold by people, definitely recommend those two Zara ones. All right, so second to last, very quickly, I picked this up just a couple months ago, and I'm actually forgetting, I think it's Madame. Yes, it's Madame by Jean-Paul Gaultier. I was drawn in by the bottle and the fact that it was discontinued when I found it, and I just like it, you guys. Like, this is a fruity floral, and there is something so unique about this scent. I have the eau de toilette, which is important to make because there is a difference. I've heard there's like a distinct difference between the eau de parfum and eau de toilette. So I'm only speaking about the EDT, but oh my God, I cannot put my nose, and I've tried many a time, on what it is that's so unique about this fragrance, but it smells different to every other fragrance I've smelled. And that is hard for me to find, harder and harder the more fragrances I try over, you know, the years or decades that I've been into fragrance. So yeah, I would say it's definitely unique. If I did like a blind smell test, I'd be able to pick it out, and I just love it. Like, I really think this was a beautiful one, and a quite like a young, youthful take on a fragrance that is still, I think, safe for every age. Like, it's a youthful fragrance that works for everyone, I think. And then finally, one from Guerlain. I really love the Insolence range, as you guys know, because I'm all for violet-y fragrances, but my favorite is actually a discontinued one, and that's the Eau Glacée. I love how soft and fresh and like iced and cooling it is. It really does. I'm gonna wear some of this. I really like it. I mean, the originals are definitely nice. The Eau de Toilette and Eau de Parfum, don't get me wrong. I wear them all the time, and they're very strong, and that's something that I love about them. But this just makes it, I feel like, an easier commitment fragrance for the Insolence range, because it's lighter and fresher and isn't as beast mode. I find myself reaching for this even more often now, especially just being like, just hanging out around the house. I feel like I really am drawn to this one. It's discontinued. You can still find it every once in a while. I definitely have had an easier time finding this than my Insolence, for example. So I would really recommend it. And as always, don't forget to let me know in the comments below which ones you have really liked from this range, because or in the fragrances that I've mentioned, because you never know when they could come back. And in fact, the one I wanted to mention is She by Armani. So this went discontinued, this and He, the male fragrance counterpart, went discontinued around 2010, I believe, and I'd never picked it up. And then in 2020, I heard it come back. This is an old packaging one, I think. I think they changed up the packaging. I was reading an article about it, but you guys, you know how much I love this. It smells identical, and I've said this before, but it smells identical to Spanish laundry and like laundry detergent. It's very clean. I think the She is actually quite unisex, honestly. It's very just clean and fresh, and the most delicious clean fragrance, because if you've ever had or used Spanish laundry detergent, then you know it's like perfumey. It's really nice. So I love that. So let that be your inspiration. Any one of your favorites could come back one day. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.